Greetings, this is Steve, your desk-bound aviator. I'm going to take another flight in the Airbus A330 today, the big one, big brother to the A320. We did a flight the other day, last week or so, and I want to do another one in this aircraft to explore something that I didn't understand last week. Regarding an RNAV landing, and so I'll show you what we're going to do here. Let me just jump over for a second to our flight. This is our departure. We're going to go from Albuquerque up to Denver, and this is the route of our flight. And when we get to Denver, let me just scroll that down a little bit. I want to do a landing on an RNAV runway 35 left, but a particular type. It's this RNAV GPSY runway left. I'll show you what it is, if I can get this to work properly. RNAV GPSY runway 35 left. There we go. That's the one. What I discovered was an interesting facet of RNAV navigation that I'll share with you. The FAA, of all folks, issued this particular PDF, and I'll leave a link in my description below where you can download this if you like. It's called RNAV GPS Approaches, and it discusses a particular type of approach called LPV, Localizer Performance with Vertical Guidance. And that sounds like exactly what it is. It's a localizer, so you have lateral LNAV navigation and also vertical LPV guidance, in other words, a glide slope. But it's not ILS. It says LPV approaches take advantage of the refined accuracy of WAAS lateral and vertical guidance to provide an approach very similar to Category 1 ILS. In this case, the design incorporates an angular guidance with increased sensitivity as an aircraft gets closer to the runway. In other words, it's like flying into a cone. The closer you get to the target, the more accurate it gets. Sensitivities are nearly identical to those for ILS at similar distances. This is intentional to aid pilots in transferring their ILS skills, flying skills, to LPV approaches. So what this does, if you're approaching an airport that has this capability, and you select a runway that has this capability, you will find yourself able to get glide slope and lateral guidance all the way down to the runway. Now, I think my experience is that it's good up to maybe something like 300 feet from the runway, and then it cuts out. So you don't want to do it all the way to landing. It's not an auto land system, but it is a way to guide you to a runway. So I thought we'd give that a try today. So let's jump back here into our big monster Airbus. And first thing we're going to do is call up ground services, or ground handling as JAR calls it. And I do that by typing the letter G. It brings up this little widget, they call it. And with this, you can select various components. That's a catering truck. This is another catering truck. It's kind of hard to grab these things. I'm not sure what the secret is. There we go. Okay, we don't need two catering trucks. We'll do a fuel truck, another couple of loaders, and another catering truck back here, and that's enough. And we just ask them to drive up. Now, as you can hear, let me just turn the volume way down. As you can hear, the generator started cranking up. We can let the widget go. And we'll take a look around and we can see the various components driving up to the aircraft. And as they do, the doors open, which is very handy. So while all that's going on, we'll get inside here and go up and turn on some switches, including the batteries. And you can activate, see we've got the GPS, ground power system available to us. GPU, I should say. GPS. We can turn on a beacon light and maybe the nav and logo light. People know we're on board. Compass, control, overhead lights. This one isn't operative, that switch. This one is. That's the lights in between the aisles. Safety lights will arm that. And we can come up here and turn our ADIRs on the nav mode. That'll help us align the FMC where we are. Make a little adjustment in temps. Make sure those are nice and neutral. And then we'll go down below here, and I think those lights are already on, speakers on. These two guys don't work here, they're not active. And the ECAM looks okay. And we can go ahead and turn on the floodlights, like so. While we're there, we can put the transponder on and set it to TA so we can communicate with the tower. Just do one thing before we get to that. We'll put that on plan mode and then come down here. Now, one thing we want to do is open the door so people can board the aircraft, and you do that within the MCU menu thing, and here's the forward left door, so we'll open that and you'll start to hear some people boarding the aircraft. While that's going on, we can go to the init page and we'll enter our flight, KABQ to KDEN. It asks us to request empty or generate a plan. Doesn't really matter which you choose, I believe. I'm not aware of any difference between the two, so I'll just pick none. Align IRS. Our flight number today is Southwest, SWA 2121. Cost index 30. And our cruise altitude today will be 310, 31,000. All right, from here we can go to fuel. And I'm going to go ahead and increase this to 15,000 kilograms. We'll fill that. Like so. And we can check the zero fuel weight. And the center of gravity, all that set, and the block. 15, and that gives us an hour 38 or 138 minutes, I should say, extra time. So that's good. From here we can go to flight plan, KABQ. Now I just want to check that because I changed the direction due to the weather today, and go over here to put this away for the time being. Albuquerque, we've got rotate that. And we're going to be taking off to the east this time on runway 8, which is convenient because we're parked right over here. Let that go. And we just want to check our SID. It's going to be Jemez 3. So 8, departure, 8. And scroll down to Jemez. There's no transition. Click that and enter it. Insert it. There's no intermediate waypoints on our route up to Denver, so we're just going to land in Denver again on runway 35 left via the Eldora Star and the Brazo transition. So select KDEN, arrival. And you want to make sure you don't pick ILS unless you want to land on ILS, but we're picking RNAV 35 left version Y. and it was Eldora, which is next page, right there. Razo is the transition. Enter, insert, and now let's go through and eliminate any discontinuities we find. Probably one between, yeah, there's that one. And maybe there's another one at the end. There we go. Clear and do that. I think that's going to be it. Yeah, there's the runway, so we're good. So insert that, go back to flight plan. Now we can go to performance. In performance, we just click these three guys right here, and we get a takeoff speed of V2 speed of 143. We'll click thrust reduction, flaps. There's this flaps 1 in this aircraft. Engine out, ACC, and the F speed is, or temp is 60. F60. Okay, so that's all set up. We don't need to deal with the radio since we're going to be landing on RNAV. Don't even use the radio for that. I'll go ahead and turn on this device here that gives us our barrel. Before I depart from the FMC, you see this nasty little red note down here telling me my frame rate is too slow. You can get rid of that by going into settings, and I'm going to get rid of a bunch of these things. There's that FPS message. I'll leave the right click on and get rid of these guys down here. So that's that. Okay, our barrow here in Albuquerque is 2995. So come up here and click that over and scroll this up to 2995. Our speed today is going to be 143, I think it was. So we'll set the speed bump for that. Click that, and now we can do this in thousands increments up to 310. Right there. All right. Let's go up above and turn on the APU and get ourselves powered independent of the ground power system. Before we do that, we'll tell everybody to fasten their seat belts. Master switch here. Go ahead and open up our fuel pumps. And that's all for the time being. Let's just take a look down here and see if the APU is up and running yet. Looking at that lower ND in the center there. And it says APU available. Okay. So we can turn on APU bleed. The engine bleed and packs, that's all automatic. You don't have to do anything with that. What we can now do is shut down the ground power unit. And to make it go away, we'll go outside, call up our handy little widget again, and we'll just say to everything, drive away. Now, it does that, but not for everything. The thing that it does not do it for, it does not make it drive away for some strange reason, is that GPU. So I just want to make sure everything's departing the way it should. There goes one loader, another. Kind of neat the way the JAR has created all these wonderful gadgets that service the aircraft. Soon that catering truck will start to descend and the door there will close. All right. Well, he's taking his time, so I'm going to speed things up by just saying hide all. And that takes care of everything. So now we can get rid of that screen. Whoops. Ah, well, maybe we gotta go back in here. Let's come back in here and let's check our doors. Maybe we did that prematurely. Shut the passenger door. Yeah, there. All right. Let's check and make sure that that's closing, and it is. Good. So now we can call up our pusher and see what they have to say. Let's see, we're going to be departing somewhere over in this area, so we'll back up to the right. Let's go in the opposite direction today. Yesterday we went to the left. So let's go, let's get pushed right back. Now probably here is okay. No, that red indicates that he doesn't like that position. All right, let's do this. We'll delete that guy. Now we can come over here and we can go anywhere we want. So we'll just click that.
All right, Captain, got the directions.
There
Let me
he
know
is.
through the menu when you're ready.
Okay,
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
we got our laconic driver today. He's going to probably drive right through that marshal. Yeah, he sure is. Ooh, crunch. Oh well. All right. So let's check up here, make sure we've got all our fuel is on. We don't want to do the lights just yet. Seat belts are on, all the other switches are okay.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
All right. This is his view. Up we go. I don't know if they have these pushers like this in the United States. I think this is probably more a European.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pens inserted. Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Park brake off.
There's the auto
Here
gate.
comes the pushback. Light them up.
Okay, we can light them up, as
Starting
it says.
engine 2.
And the engine start switch on. Nothing will happen unless you do that. We'll keep an eye on the big N1 fan. When that gets up to speed, then we can go ahead and crank up engine 1. Do about 10 or 15 or so, that's good. All right.
Starting engine 1.
Okay, engine 1 is coming to life. And we can now go back and turn our start switch off. And spoilers, we can arm the spoilers.
Spoilers armed.
Go ahead and put our
Flaps
flaps
one.
down 1 notch. Set the auto brake to max. And now that all that's accomplished, we can come up here and turn off the APU. I'll turn the probe heat on. And if we get an icing condition, then we'll turn on the icing at that time. Right now we don't need it on the ground here. When the heat departs, we'll go ahead and turn on our taxi light, strobe. We'll wait till we're out on the runway before we do the strobe light. Okay, we're about ready to roll here, almost backed up. And I will see you out on the end of the runway.
Approaching 8. On runway 8.
That's all lined up nicely.
Park
Do a
brake
final
off.
check. Lights on. Everything set there. Transponder can go to TARA. All right. Signs are on, cabin check's okay. Spoilers are armed, flaps are down 1. Auto brakes on max. Takeoff config is normal. We're going to take off and bear to our left and be on our way to Denver. So I'll just increase the throttle up to flex 60 level.
Park brake
Let the
off.
park brake go.
Power set.
It's a big airplane, so it takes quite a while to get it up to speed. And a nice long runway.
100 knots.
With that wind arrow, that doesn't look accurate.
V1.
Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up.
Okay.
Autopilot 1. Cross check.
Oops. Well, that's jar for you.
Speed, speed, speed.
Keep our brake down there.
Autopilot 1. Cross check.
Let's see if we can get it this time. All right, now we're starting to increase speed. As soon as that gets up to that green mark around 178 or so, 7, and we can bring the flaps back in. It's always a little disconcerting when you're heading straight for those hills. In a big aircraft like this, you want to make sure you get on the route, clear those guys. Okay.
Flaps 0.
Flap 0. Those are off. Landing lights still on. But we are on our way. Let's go ahead and scroll this guy out. See more of our route. Top climb will be up in this area right here. It's a nice, clean, easy route up to Denver. So we're now coming up on 250 where we'll level out. And, or at least where we'll maintain that 250 until we reach 10,000. Turn the lights off and then be on our way. One thing you can do here with this ND, this MFD, the multifunction display, is you can pop that, which is very nice. It comes up here, and if you just zoom in so you got a window to look at, most of it's in the window, which is very nice. You can just see pretty clearly where you are on your route. There's our top of climb right there. Now the other thing I'll discuss with you, apropos of this RNAV landing, this LPV technology that allows you to land. This is a little different than what we did in the Boeing. You may remember we talked in the Boeing 737 about a built-in system within that aircraft that in effect does the opposite of ILS. Instead of a signal or a electronic device that picks up a signal from the airport and guides you laterally and vertically down to a runway, which is ILS. The IAN, or Integrated Approach Navigation System on a Boeing, is generated by the FMC, and you instruct it what airport, what runway, and so forth you're going to, and it generates a glide path, as they call it, a GP instead of a glide slope, and lateral navigation. I forget it's called an FAC, Final Approach Course, to the runway. So that's how that system works. This is different from that. This is, it's similar to ILS, but different. On an RNAV runway, radio navigation runway, not instrument landing system runway, this is a system that will generate a signal to the aircraft and allow pretty much the same behavior as ILS, not quite as complete. In other words, you can't do a full auto landing with this system. In fact, at some point in the final stages of landing, the system actually cuts out, and you will hear the autopilot terminate. You'll hear a chime or an alarm if the autopilot's off. At that point, the control of the aircraft is handled by the pilot. Now, from experience, I've found that if you stretch it to the limit, you may or may not be successful at landing on the runway, because sometimes that kick-out occurs before you're even at the runway. So I generally cancel the system. I generally turn the autopilot off maybe a half a mile or so from the runway, so that I can get control of the aircraft properly and guide it in the good old-fashioned way. So we'll explore all of that as we get closer to Denver. Right now we're past our 10,000 mark, so we can go up here. Let's flip this, we go up here and turn off the landing lights. We are now well on our way. I was too busy talking to think about the landing lights. But everything else seems fine, so why don't I continue with this flight and bring you back when things start to get interesting as we make our approach into Denver. Welcome back. We are just a little bit ahead of our top of descent here. I'll show you that on the AV. Pop that up. Here's our top of descent. Let's just check our route. You'll see here that our approach into Denver, runway 35 left, indicates that we should acquire our signal, if you will, or activate our LPV system at Diamond, this waypoint right here, which is 2 waypoints right before the runway. So I will go ahead and activate the system well before that so we can acquire it at that point. But that'll be our landmark right there. We'll set our descent for 7,000 feet, and then the big question will be whether the system automatically continues our descent down to the runway. So we'll dial that down to 7,000. Like so. I think I'm going to go ahead and start to dial down our speed. Okay. There we go. Prop. All right, we'll go ahead and apply APPR. Keep an eye on the ND here. See what happens over here when you turn on APPR. So we get MDA 5491. I'm not sure what that translates to, but the system is now armed. We'll continue our descent. All right, so we're coming up on Diamond. And 7,000. So you want to keep your eye on this indicator right here. We've got the gear down, 3 signals. I'll go ahead and put on the auto brakes on low. Got quite a ways to go on the runway, and it's a nice long runway, so you don't really need a lot of auto braking. Go ahead and arm the
Spoilers armed.
spoilers. The runway turnoff lights is what those are. Those on. 1 mile to go.
Approach phase activated.
There we go. little bit. Getting full flare here. That's interesting.
Flaps 3.
And look at our altitude. There's our 7,000 mark.
$1,000.
Approaching 3, 5, left.
Just gonna let it run.
$500.
About 8 knots headwind, so we'll keep it at about 46.
$400. $300.
Too low. Flaps.
Flaps full.
$200. $100. 100 above. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. Retard. 5,
Whoa, that really dropped.
10, 5.
Spoilers full. Decel. Reverse green.
That really dropped at the end there. Okay. Probably turn off here. Actually, I'm going to go up a little bit. We're going to go on the other side of that building. And stop.
Brake on.
Right there. Engines, turn those off. And take a look indoors as the auto gate approaches. And there we are in Denver. Voila. So thanks for joining me for that. I appreciate your coming along for the ride. It's an interesting study of the LPV capability of RNAV runways, certain WAAS-equipped RNAV runways. So thanks a lot. I'll see you soon. Maybe we'll do a different aircraft next time or discover something else new. And in that regard, by the way, thanks to all my new subscribers and folks who like to view these flights. I appreciate your joining me. If you have any questions or any comments or any advice or instructions, Lord knows I could use it, as you can see. Keep checking it out. We'll do these from time to time. Flying XPlane sim aircraft all over the place. They're fun, they're interesting, and I'll see you soon.